This video is for anybody that has a Kia with a leather wrapped steering wheel, okay, and has the manual shift paddles on the back side of your steering wheel, okay? As you can tell, obviously, I've got the steering wheel completely off, pulled it out, trying to figure this out, okay? This is not a simple process. If you are not handy, if you're not mechanically inclined, you might not want to try this, okay? Because about the only way to really get this done is you got to pull the steering wheel, okay? The problem is that most of the videos show a regular hard plastic steering wheel. With a leather wrapped steering wheel, there are a couple of unique things, and this is out of a 2012 Optima SX Turbo, okay? And the first thing is that there is a set screw at the base of your lower push point components, okay? But that hole that's there now on the backside was not there. I've taken and drilled that hole myself after I figured out how and happened in order to be able to access it. I was very fortunate in that when I pulled this, I just kept prying at it, kept getting leverage on both sides, and I simply pulled it up and through this molded plastic, and that holds it in, okay? But that set screw is not accessible. I simply have used and drilled a hole into it now using a 3/16 drill bit so I can put it back in, okay? But that's where it is. And if you don't drill it prior, trying to get it out is going to be real difficult. So take your time, drill. You can see exactly where that is. Drill slowly. You may even want to go with a bigger one, a bigger bit, so that you can get a hole until you get in. Don't bugger up your Phillips head on the backside by drilling through. You go through that hard plastic, a good drill bit goes through it without any difficulty whatsoever. Okay, that's the first thing. The next two things are that trying to take off the upper component proved to be extremely difficult as well. There, as you can see, we've got some support pieces that come in and come down into the top side. And there are two additional set screws on the back side of the steering wheel. I was able to access these two with the steering wheel still in place, but it was extremely difficult. I had to take the housing off of the steering column, take it apart, use a stubby screwdriver to get in there, Phillips head, and take those two out. But after doing that, I still couldn't get the top component, the top housing here, to come off. And here's the hidden secret. Thank you, Japanese, or I guess in this case, Korean engineering. There are two additional set screws on the back side fitting here and here that you can't see. And there is no access point for it. It's kind of like the one at the bottom. There's no access point on the back side of the steering wheel. Okay? Here is here's the original 3, 6, and 9 push points to remove your airbag. But what there was not at the time, initially, were any holes to be able to get a screwdriver into the backside of the steering column in order to be able to get to the underside where this screw, this little Phillips head screw, comes up and sets and holds into component right here. Okay. That fits there. So I took and created some holes. Used a quarter-inch drill bit. Again, used a good sharp bit because you're going through the back side of this plastic molding. It's not difficult. And you'll notice here, I've got 2 holes drilled. Again, this was the original push point for the airbag. Okay, this was my first attempt here. Unfortunately, that one was too low and it didn't allow me clearance off of the steel bracing, primary structural component for the steering wheel. And I couldn't get up into it. So I had to go, I drilled a second one higher. And you can see in relationship to where your original push point hole is to here, okay, that allowed me to get a Phillips head into the backside, unscrew that. Second side, I did a little better job. Okay, I took basically the same structure, put it in, drilled it in, okay? And then it allows you to get that Phillips head screwdriver in from the back side of the steering wheel to release these 2. Once out, everything's here, okay? You can take your components off. You have set screws on the back side. These components come out. They snap together in. There are no additional screws or anything in, so you take them out, clean them up, put it in. You have your snap-in electrical components that obviously go to the lower cage and the upper cage. But if you're going to try and remove your leather-wrapped Kia steering wheel, these are a couple of things you're going to have to deal with. And from my perspective, you got to pull the steering wheel to actually make this happen. Hope this helps.